this will have a lot of repercussions, and of course, India will have to now, try and deal with this very, very deftly, as we have been speaking about, because you don't know what mercurial Donald Trump comes up next. You try and take a very strong position. From 25, he may suddenly announce 50%. You never know anything with Donald Trump. Let's very quickly go across at this moment to Smita Prakash, senior journalist, editor ANI, who's joining us at this moment. We also have Jayanta Ghoshal, senior journalist, political analyst with NDTV. Thank you so much to both of you for being so patient here on the broadcast. Smita, let me start by asking you, this will have a lot of political repercussions. As I was saying, the parliament session is on. Donald Trump's name has been repeatedly taken by the opposition while attacking the government yesterday as well. First of all, with Donald Trump and the announcement, what do you expect happens here in the political scenario of India?
Well, I think two things which I want to point out. I kind of agree with what Vishnu and Natasha had to say, that you have to see the larger picture. You just can't say that haath milayenge ya aankh dikhayenge. That doesn't work like that in diplomacy. You do, in fact, same day you do simultaneously aankh dikhana and haath milana. As far as diplomacy is concerned. It is a setback to India-US relations. There's no doubt about it. It's been on an upward trajectory for the past 30 years or so, or at least 20 years, one would say. But one can't go by what Donald Trump says, not just saying it, yes, slapping of tariffs, but then the negotiations are still on. This is worse than what I think I saw NDTV Profit, is it worse than what has come on Indonesia and the others, probably because of the Russian oil thing. Now, as far as the repercussions on Indian politics is concerned, of course, you saw what Mr. Huda had to say. They will put the Indian foreign policy mandarins on the mat and say that this is a failure and something that Dr. Manmohan Singh had worked with Bush and Obama has been undone. But remember, India-US relations has hit roadblocks several times in the past. It's not the first time. And the recent one probably is the Khobargade crisis. So much so that, the embassies had put boulders in front of each other and those kind of things that happened. Yeah. So we have gone past that, and it's not a smooth process. As far as the politicians are concerned, of course, they're going to make bombastic comments. But remember, this is not the era of the Soviet Union and Indira Gandhi and Kissinger, though we have gone past that era. Okay. This is a new place, and foreign policy is something which is very dynamic now. It's not these staid rules by which earlier governments dealt with.
Smita, I just introduce Peter Cardillo. He's the chief market economist at Spartan Capital. How do you see the markets reacting to this, or do you believe that they would essentially disregard this? Because quite frankly, what Trump says, between the morning and the evening could change. The other way of looking at it is that this is a hardline position because negotiations between India and America are continuing on that trade deal.
Well, let's put it this way. Right now, the markets are reacting still positively, but I don't think it's due to this news. I think it's due to other news. We had good GDP numbers here in the States come out. The economy grew 3%. We had the unemployment, the ADP employment situation, which came in better than expected. 104,000 private jobs were added to the economy last month. And then we had some real good earnings this morning. So I think the market, is focusing on that. And of course, it's also Fed Day. And the market is expecting the Fed to stay on hold. Now, in terms of this Trump announcement, I think, it will go in effect, obviously, by August 1st, but I don't think it's going to be long lasting. I think this is a tactic that Trump is using to get India to come in line, and I would suspect that this hefty tariff that's being placed will probably be watered down over the next month or so. There was a great relationship between Trump and your prime minister, and all of a sudden we see that now has dissipated. And the fact that he's also adding another penalty for importing Russian oil suggests to me that this is another reason why he has imposed this 25% in order to get a better deal, which could happen within the next 60 days.
So, Peter, so just for our viewers to understand, you believe that this is a maximalist position that Donald Trump is taking only to try and force India for a better deal as far as America is concerned? Because it's a very long message, as Vishnu was reading out earlier. Some people would also term it obnoxious because then it goes into India's choice of who and how they are buying oil, and with Russian weapons and so on and so forth as well. So it's just not about trade. It becomes bigger than that with the kind of message that Donald Trump has set across.
Absolutely, but I think it's a loud message to a lot of countries that Trump wants them to do business with the United States, and that they have to be loyal to the United States. And I think that's what this is all about. Remember now, imposing 25% is a steep tariff. The beneficiary here is the United States. Obviously, the loser is India. And so I think, when you begin to, whether it be India or whether it be another country on a global scale, when you begin to weaken economic activity, you're basically going to hurt yourself as well. So I think that is being taken into consideration. And that's why I think that eventually there'll be a deal that will be less negative in terms of economic activity.
All right, Peter Cardillo, thank you so much for speaking to us here on NDTV. Let me go across very quickly to Jayantata. Jayantata, it also flies largely, what we have seen in the last few months and years, with China's importance growing. America would try and see India as a partner, which it can, in fact, help help America take on China. But if you antagonize one of your most important partner with 25% taxes plus penalties, it goes completely opposite to what Donald Trump at least have been trying or saying to his domestic audience.
Ankit, actually, I was listening, Mr. Cardillo, and I think Natasha also said the same thing, that there should not be any knee-jerk reaction now. And I think Prime Minister Mr. Modi also, this is economic diplomacy, and Vishnu was also repeatedly saying that this is Mr. Trump. So the opposition parties, they are doing their job, because this, what Mr. Huda is saying, that Aakh Dikhana, Haath Milana, and Smita, I completely agree with Smita, that it should be dealing with the domestic politics first. Because we should not be, if we go for anti-Trump reflex politics, then this is because we should be calm, because it can be a short-term bargaining diplomacy. It is like Karol Bagh, Sarojini Nagar market bargain politics of Trump. This is Mr. Trump. So I think after some time, because China, it's not only India, Canada, the old friend, the whole Europe. This is we are rather now there is an alignment of all European countries, EU, and we are not alone.
Yeah.
This is a Trump. What this war is now, this excise and this tariff war, we are not alone. It's a polycentric world now. The Cold War era is over.
Yes.
And now we should keep good relationship with China, and government of India is doing that. Why Jaishankar visited China? And what is the development? And China also settled recently with Trump. Trump has said that he is going to China. Trump is very inconsistent also for his manifestation. And I think if, and Mr. Modi is doing that, I think, as an onlooker of his diplomacy, okay. I think he's careful. And now, after 1st August, because it is not unexpected,
yes.
It can create impact in the share market, stock market. That is a different story altogether. But, rather we have read it will be 26%. अभी तो मुझे लग रहा है 1% कम हुआ है, क्योंकि what the speculation was 26, 27, and now I think the scope of negotiation is there. And it's a economic diplomacy.
No, but
Commerce
Joyanta, let
Ministry.
me also jump in over here and make one or two small points. Firstly, this puts this government in a slightly tight spot because there's been this huge debate taking place in Parliament. A lot of that has to do with America's alleged role in bringing Op Sindoor to an end. We know as journalists that America didn't have that role, irrespective of what Trump has had to say. But be that as it may, the Congress party has also said, wait for this trade deal to emerge and you will see what exactly happens. What Trump has now proposed is, in a sense, a worst case scenario for what the government was hoping for. The question is, will the government ride out this Trump storm or are they going to react? Because one way or the other, they're going to have to react. The moment you react, then Trump counter-reacts. You're not dealing with a standard international leader. You're going to have to look at how you react. You're going to have to weigh the fact that you built up a relationship with America for 20 plus years. It's based on foundational agreements. It's based on the nuclear deal, the strategic alliance, the closest strategic partnership, semiconductors, superconductors, pharma, green tech, defense, all of that, right? And of course, the underlying premise is the human-to-human relationship, students, all of that. Now the question over here is, therefore, do we discount all of that? Can we just look the other way? It's not going to be politically acceptable for the opposition. But I think the key point over here is that India might just need to take that step because they know that beyond Trump, there is still America.
Yes, we have to. Jonathan, I'll continue this discussion. There are very high tariffs, sir, but we will have to take some commercial breaks. That is also those are very important tariffs for us at this moment. I have to take a very quick break. I'm coming back, and we'll continue this discussion. This curveball that Donald Trump has thrown India's way. We are coming back. Our panel stays with us. We will discuss this after a short break. Stay tuned. Priyanka there, my colleague from NDTV World, is also with us at this moment to get us more reactions as far as this story is concerned. Priyanka, let me begin by asking you: is the American media and people there, are they seeing this as a Trump tantrum being thrown towards India? Something of a bargaining chip that he's trying to use, hardballing India before the trade talks take shape?
Namaste. Thanks for having me on your show. Well, I've heard the people that you've had on this show, but like him or hate him, it's Trump at the end of the day knows a thing or two about leverage. I mean, look at the deals that he's striking all over the world, the EU being one of the latest. So he knows how to play his game. His comments about India, about high tariffs, about Russian oil use as well, aren't coming out of nowhere. That's the first thing. And that was on his Truth Social. And for years, US companies have also struggled to break into Indian markets because of steep tariffs. For example, Harley Davidson is an example, the motorbike. American whiskey is an example. Sky-high duties on dairy, even full cars that are facing import duties. These are, I'm talking 100%, 150% tariffs. So it's impossible to break into the Indian market. Here's the twist, though. I feel that India also knows how to rally. He had put up I guess you can say, post on Truth Social a couple of weeks ago saying that he is going to send these tariff letters to different countries across the world. He said August 1st. He gave that deadline. I came on your show and said, well, if he says August 1st, he probably means August 1st. So I don't think that I don't think that anybody who is deciding and negotiating these deals, I feel that they anticipated it. I feel India also has a ready response. I feel that India has a way more measured response versus America, who is very, very aggressive, high pressure, high stakes, with deadlines, forcing people to come to the table and talk. I feel that Modi also has just a very calm, cool response, and both are open to negotiation. So Trump tariffs, I guess the game is like game theory. It's high stakes, high pressure. That's what Trump is doing, and it is working on a lot of countries. Yes. It's worked on the EU. It's worked everywhere so far. He's struck amazing deals that are in favor.
Maximalist position, that is what he likes to take, and then from there he tries to bargain it down. Smita, what do you expect as India's response to this? I mean, we are talking at a point when the foreign minister is speaking to Mr. Piyush Goyal. Hopefully, like Priyanka was saying, there would have been some anticipation, if not 25% plus penalties, at least 20% or something like that. India would have already expected. Is it going to be a hardball stance from India, tit for tat in this case, or do you think there is going to be a more mellowed response from the Indian government?
put tit for tat would be really wrong. That would be playing into his hands. It's clear that we have competing interests. India and the US have competing interests, which is natural. Even strategic allies don't have it, and we are not even an ally of the US. So, in your show, you had Mr. Cardillo who said that, oh, India had a great relationship with Trump. Now, that's exactly what the opposition in India will also say. That, oh, ab ki baar Modi sarkar. So, Prime Minister Modi had this great relationship with Trump, and now Trump is saying, prove your loyalty. Now, are you in my corner? That's exactly what George Bush in his early years used to say to everybody, you're with us or against us, right? Now, slowly they get maturity to realize that that's not how you necessarily deal with people who are who are similarly allied as you, not necessary allies. India also has to be a little more mature. We can't be sentimental. Oh, General Asim Munir got invited for breakfast with Trump. That's not fair. Who knows what happens in that breakfast meeting, right? For all you know, Ankit, he might have got a rap on his fingers and told that release Imran Khan. Why have you jailed him? So one really doesn't know how these things work behind closed doors. So I think it will, of course, depend, and both sides will have to handle this period of friction that is going to come. And whether it is through dialogue or whether it is through escalation, it certainly shouldn't be escalation the way some Indian politicians are saying stop McDonald's. Because if tomorrow you have mobs going in front of KFC or McDonald's, that would be the worst thing ever. That would be a red rag.
You can't go pre-1990s era. You can't go in that post, pre-liberalization era. That is not the path that India would anyway want to take. Jayantodda, very quickly coming to you at this moment. I mean, we also would have to look at it because the government also says that, listen, Trump can't hardball us on some very important issues like agriculture, where they are seeking a lot more concession than India is willing to give, as far as the trade deal is concerned. So there is something politically also which the government can maneuver for the domestic audience, that we will not get bowed down and let him say whatever he has to say when it comes to our farmers' interest.
Exactly. I completely agree with you. And in fact, Smita is also saying the same thing, that this hyperbole is not the solution. We should not escalate there should not be any confrontationalist approach, and Trump's politics of isolation. We know that what Trump is doing now, and it is not only with India. The whole world, even the American companies, including Apple, he threatened. So now we should understand, Prime Minister Mr. Modi is not compromising, but he is not confrontationalist. I think that is the right thing. We have not compromised on Russia. The military equipments we are buying, and the oil issue, we have not stopped. He threatened long back, Trump threatened not today. So we have not stopped. On Iran issue, it's a major issue. So on Iran issue, what Bajpayee took the position, Mr. Modi's position on Iran is also not completely changed.
Okay.
And it is not a very difficult job to make this balance.
Yes.
So I think this whether we are anti-China, pro-China, pro-US, anti-US, our sovereign interest we are addressing. Absolutely. We have a huge market.
Absolutely.
And what you are saying, that agriculture and lot of issues are there. And even on Bangladesh, the State Department, Hillary Clinton, and now the anytime election will be announced, and we have to talk to US authority on Bangladesh election. Bangladesh may be a small country, but the geostrategic position is very important.
Absolutely.
So I think it's a lot of layers are there.
So there would be a lot of push and pull before actually a deal can be arrived. And this is just the beginning, with Donald Trump, because largely everything for President Trump works like a reality show. It's, you are fired. That was his reality show and his tagline. And that is exactly how he does his business. Now, of course, the ball is in India's court to see how we want to respond to this. Thank you so much, Jayantodda, Smita Prakash, for speaking to us here on NDTV. I have to take a very quick break. News and updates will continue here. Stay tuned.